Chapter 5. Creating Animation in Adobe Animate. You will learn about understanding timeline, learning layers and frames on timeline, creating symbols and modifying instances, creating animations in Animate. In the previous class, we learned that Adobe Animate CC 2019 is used to create animated movies and video games. We have also learned about some basic tools of Tools panel. In this chapter, we will now learn about how to create an animation using Animate. Before learning that, let's first understand the timeline and concept of layers so as to create great animations. Understanding timeline. As you have learned in previous class, the timeline is used to organize and control the movie's content by specifying when each object appears on the stage. The timeline has layers and frames to organize and control the movie's content. The timeline is available below the main document window by default, but you can place it at any place where you want it in the document window. Drag the title bar of the timeline in order to move it from one place to another. Layers. Layers are like transparent sheets of content stacked on top of one another. They allow users to draw or place images on different layers without affecting other objects on other layers. There is no limitation to the number of layers. Adding a layer causes it to be placed on top of other layers. You can reorder the layers by dragging them up or down. The front and behind position of the object on the stage is related to sequence of the layers. On opening an Animate new document, we get only one layer by default, but we can add more layers. Even we can also hide, show, lock or unlock the contents of layer. Let's learn about them in detail. Adding a new layer. A new layer can be easily added by using any of the following methods. Method 1. From the timeline, directly click on the Insert Layer button to add a new layer. Method 2. Click on Insert, go to Timeline, go to Layer option from the menu bar. Method 3. Do a right-click on Layer Name and select Insert Layer option from the menu to add a layer. A new layer will always add above the existing layers. Deleting a layer. A layer can be deleted by using any of the following methods. Method 1. First of all, select the layer which is to be deleted and then click the Delete Layer button on Timeline. Method 2. Click on the layer and drag it to the Delete Layer button in order to delete it. Method 3. Do a right-click on Layer Name and then select Delete Layer option from the menu to delete a particular layer. Renaming a layer. You can easily rename a layer by just double-clicking on the layer name and then type a new name for it. Show or hide a layer. A layer can be hidden easily so that you can work easily on other layers. To hide a layer, click on the I column at the right of the layer name. As soon as you click there, a cross symbol will appear to represent that the particular layer is hidden. To show a layer back, click on it again. Lock or unlock a layer. A layer can be locked in order to prevent any kind of changes on the contents of that layer. To lock a layer, click on the Lock column at the right of the layer name. As soon as you click there, a lock appears to represent that the particular layer is locked. To unlock a layer, click on it again. Reordering layers. As you know, a new layer will always be added at the top of other layers. But you can change the order of layers by simply dragging the layer to the position of your choice above or below the other layers on the timeline. Always remember, graphics in top layers are placed above the graphics in bottom layers. The following picture has been created by placing various objects on different layers. Frames. The timeline is made up of individual units called frames. A frame is a basic unit which is used to define the behavior or change in the properties of an object during an animation. They are basically represented as grid of boxes in the timeline. The timeline also contains a red marker which is called the playhead. You can manually move the playhead by dragging it left or right. Dragging the playhead also allows you to perform a quick check of the movie without the need of playing it. From the top of the timeline, you can also see the current frame number and frame rate. A basic animation requires two keyframes, the starting keyframe and the ending keyframe. A keyframe is a frame in which you define a change to an object's properties for an animation. The number of frames between two keyframes determine the length of the animation. Brain dose. A frame in which you define a new object or define change in object's properties for an animation is called keyframe. Creating symbols and instances. An important feature of Animate is that it allows creating a graphic object once and then it can be reused throughout in a document. This can be achieved by defining the objects as symbols. Symbol. A symbol in Animate can be any graphic object, a movie or a button stored in library. You can use a symbol again and again in the movie. With the use of symbols, the file size is reduced and thus you can download your animations faster. Instance. The copy of a symbol is called an instance of the symbol. When you create a symbol, it automatically becomes a part of library, and when you drag a symbol from library to stage, a copy of symbol is created. An instance may be different in color or size from symbol. On updating or changing a symbol, it will update all its instances, but on changing an instance, it will update only that instance and does not modify other instances. Creating symbols. Following are the steps to create a symbol. Step 1. First of all, select the existing object on stage. Step 2. Now choose Modify, Convert to Symbol option from menu bar. A dialog box will appear. Step 3. Type the name for the symbol and select the type as graphic in the dialog box. Click on OK button. Step 4. The symbol will get added to the library. Select Windows. Go to Library to open a library. Brain dose. Animate allows you to create symbols and you can reuse them again and again in your project. Creating and modifying instances. Drag the symbol from Library panel to stage in order to create an instance of the symbol. On selecting an instance, you can change its properties like brightness, tint, etc. On changing an instance, it will not affect the symbol. Always remember this. Following are the steps to modify the properties of an instance. Step 1. First of all, drag a symbol from library to stage to create its instance. Step 2. Now, select that instance on the stage using Selection tool. Step 3. In the Properties panel, you can change its various properties from the Style menu in the Color Effect section. Step 4. To change brightness, drag the slider left or right. Step 5. There is another property called Tint which allows you to change the color of an instance. Using this property, you can select any color to mix with the original color. This can be done by moving the slider from 0 to 100%. Step 6. To change the transparency of an instance, use the alpha property. It also contains sliders using which you can adjust the value for transparency. Creating animations. You can create two types of animations in Animate. 1. Frame-by-frame animation. 2. Tweened animation. Let's learn about them. 1. Frame-by-frame animation. In this type of animation, the contents are changed in every frame for creating an animation. It is best used for creating complex animations. Below are the steps for creating a frame-by-frame animation. Step 1. From the Tools panel, select the Text tool and write anything on stage. Step 2. Now, select the text and convert it to symbol by using Modify option of menu bar. Dialog box appears. Write the name for symbol and click on OK. The text is saved as symbol. Step 3. Select frame 2 in timeline and insert a keyframe by selecting Insert, go to Timeline, go to Keyframe from menu bar. Step 4. Change the color of text symbol by using Tint option from Color drop-down list in Properties panel. Step 5. Likewise, add 5 to 6 more frames and change the color of text symbol in each frame. Step 6. After completing all frames, place the playhead on first frame and select Control, go to play the movie. The text appears in different colors on playing a movie. 2. Tweened animation. In this type of animation, you can define the contents in first and last frame of your animation, and Animate will generate all the frames in between two frames automatically. It is basically used to create such animations in which you need to change the position or shape of an object in an animation. There are basically two types of tweened animations. 1. Motion tweening. It is a type of animation which is used for creating movement, size and rotation changes. This animation requires the creation of symbols. We will make a kite fly in the upward direction with the help of motion tweening. For this, we will place the kite at bottom of stage in frame 1 and move it to top in frame 40. On creating a motion tween, Animate calculates all the positions in between these two frames. Below are the steps to perform motion tweening on a kite. 1. First of all, select frame 1 on timeline and draw a kite at bottom of stage as shown in figure. 2. Now, convert the kite into symbol using Modify. Go to Convert to Symbol option in menu bar. A dialog box will open. Type the name of symbol, type as graphic and click on OK button. 3. Click on frame 40 on timeline and then click Insert. Go to Timeline, go to Keyframe from the menu bar. 4. Again, select frame 1 of timeline and click on Insert. Go to Motion Tween option from the menu bar. 5. Now, click on frame 40 and drag the kite to the top of the stage by using the Selection tool from Tools panel. 6. Now, press Ctrl plus Enter to preview the move. 2. Shape tweening. It is a type of animation in which you can convert one shape into another shape in an animation. This type of animation does not require conversion of an object into a symbol. Below are the steps to convert an oval into a square by using shape tweening. Step 1. First of all, click on frame 1 of timeline and draw an oval on the stage. Step 2. Now click on frame number 40 and insert a keyframe by clicking Insert. Go to Timeline, go to Keyframe option from menu bar. Step 3. Now click on frame 40, delete the oval and draw a square on stage. Step 4. Again, click on frame 1 and click Insert. Go to Shape Tween option from menu bar. Step 5. You can see an arrow appear between two frames. Press Ctrl plus Enter to play the movie. Brain dose. Adobe Animate is written in C++ language. Quick recap. Timeline is used to organize and control the movie's content by specifying when each object appears on the stage. The timeline contains layers and frames. Layers are like transparent sheets of content stacked on top of one another. You can add a new layer, delete an existing layer, reorder them, and show or hide or lock or unlock a layer. A basic animation requires two keyframes, the starting keyframe and the ending keyframe. A symbol in Animate can be any graphic object, movie or button stored in a library. The copy of the symbol is called an instance of the symbol. Animate allows you to create frame-by-frame animation and tweened animation. Tweened animation is of two types, motion tweening and shape tweening.